Alright, so this lecture is going to be on using images in design. So images will add impact to your design and influence the mood and style of the design. I'm sure you've heard the saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and that's really true because images allow us to communicate complex concepts or situations or imply mood and feeling to a design. So there's a couple different types of images that we can use. First is photographs, then we have illustrations, and then we have motion graphics. So I'm going to show you each one of them. So obviously this photograph is a beautiful picture of a mountain lake with some rowboats and some benches on the pier. And if this was appearing in a travel guide, you absolutely want to be able to come and sit on this lake and relax and enjoy yourself. So we could describe this lake in words, but the photograph does it a lot more justice. So the photographs can inform, convey, and invoke emotion. They are a lot more credible than an illustration because it's realistic. When you want to use a photograph, you can get photographs either by shooting them yourself or using what are called commercial stock houses. And here's some examples of some different stock agencies. A commercial photographic stock agency basically is a company that sells images. And if you would go to each one of these and do a search for the same type of keyword, for example, lighthouse, you'll see that each one of these has lighthouse images, but the cost of them is dramatically different from the top one, which is called Getty Images, which is the world's largest photography, video, illustration, sound stockhouse, down to the ones, let's say, like the 123 RF or the iStock, which is significantly different. So take a moment to find one image like a lighthouse on each one of these and try to figure out how much it's going to cost you if you were to purchase one of these. The next category is illustrations or drawings. And these are more, obviously these are not photographs, so they're not photorealistic, although they can be highly realistic in terms of drawing. This is an example of a CAD/CAM image of a photograph, or excuse me, an illustration of a house. So it looks very realistic, but it's not a photograph. It's not the real house yet. So illustrations are used to inform the reader, show concepts that are difficult or impossible to photograph. And this would include diagrams, maps, charts, cartoons, any type of drawing or flow charts that would depict relationships. Illustrations can be decorative, they can be factual, they can be serious, or they can be humorous. Generally, you would match the tone of the illustration to the message that you're trying to convey. And again, these illustrations can be purchased through commercial stock houses, or you can hire an illustrator to create an illustration specifically for a project that you're working on. So here's some examples of some of our favorite cartoon characters that these would be considered illustrations. Another big category of graphics, which is called motion graphics. And this is a motion graphic that I did. Oops, let me go back to that. And I'm going to click on this so we can play it. So I did this a couple years ago. It's about the Computer Graphic Arts program. It takes a moment. So it's a graphical representation. There's no actual pictures. There's no illustrations. It's just text that's moving that gives you some type of, conveyed message. All right. All right, so moving on. So some rules about using images. First and foremost, don't jam illustrations or photographs together. You always want to pick something that looks like they belong together. Avoid using images that would confuse the reader. If you're going to be doing a flyer for the Wine and Chili Festival, you would not put in, a photograph of bread. That doesn't make sense. You would put a photograph in of chili or wine. All right, so that's it for images, and we are going to be using images in projects 4 and 5, which are the Ad Redesigns